Zombies, zombies, zombies. Yep, we back with Call of Duty with it, and it's not about cameras this time. We're doing maps. What is up, guys? Faces Gamer here, and welcome back to another Tierlist video. I've been recording a bunch of these, and this is just a way of me getting back into the swing of things. So, for today's Tierlist video, we are going to be doing all of these. Yep, you saw by the title and the thumbnail, we are ranking zombies maps based on one thing: difficulty. How hard is the map to play? That's pretty much it. So we have every map from Black Ops, from World at War, Black Ops, and even Advanced Warfare. I was hoping this map had like something from like Extinction or whatnot. It does not, but that's fine. So we're gonna be talking about all the maps that I played from World at War, BO1, BO2, the one map from Advanced Warfare, the couple of maps from BO3, the one map from Infinite Warfare, and so on and so forth. We're gonna talk about that. So, let us get started by doing one thing. Let's go ahead and move the maps I have not played on. Still, that is all the BO3 maps. I have still not played these. I've been told dozens of times to play these. I have the finances to get them. But again, BO3 is just not that safe to play, and I'm just like really hesitant to play them. So then we got the Shadow Throne, Infection, Carrier, Descent, Rave, Shaolin, Attack of the Radioactive Thing, Beast from Beyond, Tortured Path, Boom, no, not Darkest Shark, we talked about that one, Frozen Dawn, Dead Ops 4, have not played that. And technically, Ashes of the Dam, technically, but I'm gonna talk about it. We got the Archon, no, we can talk about that. Terra Maledicta, that's a woman, we can talk about that. And that should be good. We should be good. Yeah, okay, we're good. So, as I said, we're ranking these maps based on difficulty. How hard are each of these maps? And as you can see on the list, we do have some repeat maps. Basically, the World at War maps and the BO3 map, the BO1 maps and one BO2 map. Differences, there will be some differences. Okay? So, let's kick this list off, starting off with the first map that I made, Knockdown Totem. Knockdown Totem is a hard map. Get this off. I've talked about the many features this map has had in many tier lists before when it comes to these maps. Not this hard because, well, no power, no perks, no traps. That was not a thing. This map requires you to have basically good skills. If you're not good at zombies, this and many other maps are going to be the perfect way to learn how zombies work, from wall buys, door buys, training, and overall how to handle zombies. Okay, so there are other maps for you to like practice on and get good at, but I really highly think that playing not on World at War is a good start. That's what I think, at least. And keep it on the trend, we have Varuk. I'm going to put Varuk into very hard. Varuk is slightly bigger than Noct, but somehow it feels smaller than Noct. Layout wise, it's bigger, but it doesn't feel that way. You're in an insane asylum, and you know the corridors are very cramped, very tight. There's not much room for you to maneuver. There's an upstairs and there's a downstairs. The downstairs isn't all that great. Upstairs isn't all that great either, because there's not a lot of space for you to maneuver. Plus, with that and the super sprinters, of course, you got a recipe for a pretty hard map. It's fun. It's a fun kind of hard. Don't get it wrong. Don't get it twisted. I do enjoy playing some Varuk. It's a challenging type of hard, but it's still difficult. Even with the addition of power, traps, and perks on the map, and of course the ray gun from the mystery box, or flamethrower if you get lucky, this map is still hard. Those super sprinters are gonna hit you. They're gonna hit you hard. Okay, Shino Numa. What do I say about Shino Numa? Is it hard? No, not really. It's not really a hard map. Shino Numa is not really a hard map, to be honest. I'll put it into medium difficulty. It's not really that difficult. I mean, you got perks, you got the Slogger Trap, and of course, the 4 huts with the Electric Trap, of course. The only really hard part about Shino Numa is really the dogs, realistically. But other than that, I really don't think it's that difficult. It kind of sits in the middle. Plus, if you get the Wonder Waff and Bouncing Betties, you're pretty much set for life. Just hang around the Flogger Trap, and literally you will go insanely far on this map. So medium difficulty for Shino Numa. Nothing much more to say. Okay, Doris. Doris is going straight into easy. And why do I say that? Well, powers on this map, obviously. You got traps, you got perks, and you got Pack-a-Punch. You also got Bouncing Betties, the Bowie Knife, Monkey Bombs at the box, the Ray Gun, and the Wonder Waff. Doris gives you everything you need to get to some insane rounds. I think the highest round I've ever got on Doris, I think it's almost 30. I think it's either 31 or 32. 31, 32 around there. I don't remember. It's been a while, but Doris is easy. This is like a beginner's wet dream, in my opinion. Even more so than this. So Doris is easy because Pack-a-Punch exists. Okay, we're done with the World of War maps for now. We will circle back to them. Now we have Kino der Toten. So Kino is an interesting map. Kino goes in the same spot as Doris. It goes into easy. Because Kino, I think, is an even more beginner-friendly map. Yeah, you got Nova Crawlers, and yeah, you got dogs every 5 rounds. Yep, that's cool. But you got power, you got perks. Quick Revive is useful on this map, because, especially in solo, Quick Revive is useful in solo. You got the Thunder Gun, you got the Ray Gun, you got some pretty decent wall weapons, and some pretty good weapons off the box. And not to mention, you got traps. You got the Electric Trap and the Fire Trap. And you have the stage. You also got Claymores and the Bowie Knife on this map too. This map gives you everything you need to succeed. Just like on Doris, Kino has everything you need to succeed. Everything. You can get to some insanely high rounds. Now, I wouldn't say high rounds are like on the Shino Numa, where you can get to some stupidly high rounds, but you can get to some decently high rounds. I think my highest on Kino and BO1 I think was like 30, 29 to 30, around that area. That was years ago. I haven't done that in years. But Kino sits in easy because it just is. Okay, 5 goes into hard. It's kind of the same deal with these two maps. 5 is a really small map. There are no dogs on this map, but you do have the Pentagon Thief. And if you're not knowledgeable about the Pentagon Thief, you can catch you off guard. If he touches you, you lose a gun. If you kill him before he touches you, you get a max ammo and a bonfire. Don't catch him, you just get a max ammo. Again, there are three sections of this map. You got the offices where you spawn at, the war room, which is on the 2nd floor, and then the laboratories down below where power is. And there are a couple mystery box spawns down there too. So keep that in mind. I want you to keep that in mind, alright? Kino sits in hard because it's a small map. It's a challenging small map, but I do enjoy me some 5. I'm gonna say that right now. It's a good kind of hard though. Dead Ops Arcade. I've never beaten Dead Ops Arcade. Never beat it. I don't even remember how far I got in Dead Ops Arcade. It is challenging. I'll put it in hard. There's nothing much to say about it. It's a top-down shooter. If you don't really like top-down shooters, I understand. But I'll put it in hard. I don't know what to say about it. Okay, Ascension. Depending on who you ask, Ascension is either one of the easiest maps or one of the hardest maps. So I'm gonna break down both real quick. It's easy because you have a lot of space to maneuver on this map, and with the addition of stamina, burst devices, Matryoshka dolls, PhD, and it's like you also got Thunder Gun on this map, and some reliable traps. I mean, what else? What else could you really want on this map? Listen, and for people that say it's hard, there's really one reason why some people would say that like Ascension is hard. That's because of the space monkeys. You get at least one perk, the space monkeys are coming. They're coming, and if they take your perk, you lose that perk. If you don't, if you stop them from taking a perk, you get a free perk, which will then incentivize them to go for the next perk. So say you got Quick Revive, and Quick Revive is a pretty far away. Quick Revive, not Quick Revive. Speed Cola is all the way over by Pack Punch. Not at Pack Punch, but it's close in that area. Say you got Quick Revive and Speed Cola. Speed Cola is a pretty far ways away. So unless you got Claymores to set by us, Speed Cola, yeah, I would recommend not getting perks if you don't like the monkeys, just don't get perks. But then, what's the point of playing Ascension if you can't get perks, right? That's a dilemma. That's just a dilemma of Ascension. Ascension still goes into easy because to me it's an easy map. It's not the easiest map. I still think the Reese is the easiest because of the count. But Ascension can be easy if you just eliminate the monkeys. And if you eliminate the monkeys, Claymores are going to be your best friend. SR traps. Alright, Call of the Dead. Let's talk about it. Call of the Dead. I'm also going to move this. I'm not going to. Okay, Call of the Dead. Call of the Dead is I'm gonna put Call of the Dead into medium territory. Now I know some people are gonna look at that like, but Faces, what about the fog? What of it? If you played Transit, you should not be complaining about fog if you play Transit. I played a lot of Transit. We're gonna talk about that when we get there. But I played a lot of it. Call of the Dead's fog pales in comparison to that. So Call of the Dead is a pretty simple map. You got the lighthouse, the boat, and the frozen lake. In like the spawn area. You got PhD on this map. You got PhD, you got Deadshot, Stamina. Pretty much every perk that existed up until this point is on this map. You got Bowie Knife. You got Matryoshka dolls. Scavenger, VR11. Ray Gun. Wonder Wasp, if you kill George. And the Easter egg is pretty simple. But again, we're not factoring in Easter eggs when we talk about difficulty. It's just basically how hard is the map to play, pretty much. So Call of the Dead sits into medium. It borders on easy and hard. It's kind of just sits in the middle, like shit. Okay, Moon. Moon, I don't think Moon is hard. I personally do not think it's hard. I don't think it's hard. I really don't think it's hard. Like, the excavators aren't really a problem unless you're trying to do the Easter egg. Then they can be a problem because you have to wait for a specific one. But other than that, I'm gonna put Moon into medium difficulty below Call of the Dead. I really don't think it's that difficult. The Moon Astronaut, not that difficult at all. If you get grabbed, just hold down on whatever system you're using and then just spam the jump button. You'll break free. It's really not that difficult. No Man's Land, I think is like the hardest part about Moon. But if you get good perk, if you get PhD, Mustang and Sally's like a good gun, you can cap in No Man's Land easy. I think even with Monkey Bombs. Also, not to mention that Mule Kick is on this map. So if you got Mule Kick, you could do some damage with Mule Kick. And you also got burst devices as well and QEDs. Yeah, move's really not that difficult, so nothing much more to say. Okay, we're going to speed through the World at War version, the BO1 versions of the World at War maps, because all these maps are basically the same as these. These just have the added addition of meal cake on every map. Not has it, Rut has it, Shino has it, and Therese has it. So the same place I put them. So not on BO1. Does it not have like Does it not have like? Hold on. Does it not have the Thunder Gun? Wait. Does it not have a Thunder Gun? Right. Yeah, does have the Thunder Gun, right? This goes down to medium. Not BO1 not goes down to medium because the Thunder Gun alone makes it a lot easier to handle. Varuk has the Winter's Howl. But even still, it's still pretty difficult. Even with Meal Cake, it's still pretty difficult. So, yeah, but then again, you got to factor in BO1. Then again, you got to factor in Quick Revive. I'll put it in hard. It's not difficult, not very hard. I'll put it in hard. Shino kind of stays the same. Doesn't really change all that much, even on BO1. Still stays the same. The strat is still the same. Just hang around the Flogger Trap. And Therese, I think Therese gets even easier in BO1. Just because of Quick Revive. And again, is it or is not? Doesn't Therese have the Thunder Gun as well? I remember seeing it, but I could be wrong. But Therese sits in easy. Both versions of Therese sits in easy, to be honest. So that's it for BO1. Let us move on quickly to BO2. This video is gonna be a long one. Oh, man. Alright, so first up, we have Transit first. Transit goes immediately into hard. I'll put it, I think, above 5 in hard. I'll put it at the bottom of hard. So I think these maps are a little bit higher. And you know what? No, I'll put it in front of 5. Then I got these out here. So, what makes Transit difficult? Well, Transit is a pretty big map. You got the bus depot, the diner, the power station, the farm, and town. Realistically, you want to get to the power station because you turn on power, duh. But you also want to get to town because that's where Jug is. Speed Cola is at the diner. Stamina is in town as well. And then you got Double Tap at the farm. So the perks are pretty spread pretty far apart. And plus you got Gallon Knuckles at the diner. The Void App is in the cabin in between power station and town. Once you turn on power, you can use the denizens of the forest to like set portals underneath all the light posts. You can teleport. Realistically, the hardest part about Transit isn't even Pack-a-Punch, which is difficult, but I did learn some tech that makes Pack-a-Punching on that map easy. You still have to get back to town, of course, but it's a little easier. And the fact that I've been playing this map for 10 plus years, and I know this map like back in my hand, it has to do with it, but who knows? No, the hardest part about Transit is basically just the fog itself. The fog is there to keep the game from crashing, pretty much, because the PS3 and the Xbox 360 could not handle it. That's really the hardest part, is navigating the fog, to be honest. But if you have experience like me, it's not really that bad. It sits in the hard, though. It is a pretty hard map. Alright, Bus Depot. Bus Depot, I put into hard as well. I put it in front of Transit. Only reason because Bus Depot is basically like not darn total. There's no power, there's no perks, there's no traps. It's just you, guns on the wall, and whatever you get out the mystery box. You can get EMPs at the mystery box. Ray gun Mark 2. But basically you're relying on your skills on this map as well. Farm. I put farm alongside Shino Numa in medium. You got perks and you got mystery box perks. There's really nothing much more to say. Like, you got Galvanookos. That's really it. Farm doesn't have that going for it. Farm does not have that going for it. Town is the town I put into. Town I'm gonna put at the top of town. I'm putting at the top of easy because you got perks and you got pack a punch. You got syntax grenades in the bookstore. And realistically, town is sizable, is sizable, so you can train or go from building to building, sitting at the edge, drop it down, or get overwhelmed, run to the next building, and rinse and repeat. Anybody that's played town has done this a bunch of times. Town sits in the easy because it just is. It's the easiest of the survival maps in BOC. Okay, now we have the first iteration of Nuketown Zombies. Notice I said first iteration because we have two others. We have one other to talk about. One other to talk about because the new one I haven't played yet. So Nuketown, I'm putting into medium, at the bottom of medium. Nuketown is difficult, is immediate difficult just because crash landing perks. That's pretty much it. There's really nothing else to Nuketown besides the crash landing perks. Like, you could go rounds without Jug, or you could get Jug as early as like round 5. I've had games where I didn't get Jugs like round 20, like round 25, 27, 26. Yep, that's pretty much it. There's really nothing to this map. Really nothing. It's just medium. There's medium difficulty. Alright, Die Rise goes in the heart just because of the verticality. You have to be careful how you jump. One missed jump, that's GG's. You don't have PhD to save you on this map. Now, mind you, PhD is on this map, but it is entirely inaccessible. So, you have to really be on your A game when it comes to falling down those elevators, like falling down stuff. Now, I have not talked about buildables, but I have not talked about buildables. Buildables, they're cool, you know? They don't really add much to the difficulty of the map. They're just there to make the map a little less more tedious or difficult, but we're not going to factor that in. I'm basically talking about these maps as if there's no buildables in them, okay? Alright, sits in the heart. Mob? Oh, mob. Okay, mob of the day. Okay, let me think. Mob is a small map. It's just as constrained and tight as Varroa. Not much space to move unless you go on the bridge. When you can stay, and if you get to the bridge, you can stay on there for as long as you want till you run out of ammo. But I do believe drop spawn on the bridge, but the prison itself is very small. Realistically, you only have really 2 places that you can camp. You can camp. You can camp in that hallway next to the first dock, next to the B23R wallby, or you can camp down by the number generator in the tunnels. There's 2 places. There's only 2 places, or you could camp in the infirmary. It's tough, but it's possible. Or you can camp down at the docks. You can camp at the docks, but I do think that camping in the tunnels is like the easy way. Until Brutus spawns. I would say don't camp until you get pack a bunch of weapons in yourself. Electric Cherry makes it not that hard either, especially if you reload with an empty clip. And then you got the Hell's Retriever and the Hell's Gamer, the Golden Spork, Blundergat, the Acid Gat. And I ain't gonna lie. I have been playing mobs so much, I really don't know what's hard about it. I really can't tell you what's hard about the map. I've been playing it so much. Realistically, it's just the size. The map is small. That's pretty much it. It's pretty much all I got. The map is really small. Like, it's really tight. But you have ways of getting around it. And of course, zombie shields on this map. I'm doing it. I'm putting mob in easy, but I'm gonna put it at the top of easy just because the Blundergat exists, the Hell's Redeemer exists, and the Golden Spork exists. Boom. That's pretty much it. This map is easy, realistically. It's easy. Once you learn the layout and you get a handle for how the map operates, this map is this map is like it. Okay, Buried. Buried is on a whole nother level of easy. There's tons, like, again, I know I said buildables do not make or break the difficulty in the map, but I think Buried is even easier if you have the head chopper and the subsonic resonator. If you have at least those two, you are going to some insanely higher levels. You also got the paralyzer, you got the time bomb, go through the witch's house with that ticket damage, you get a perk, which basically means you can get all the perks on the map without having to do anything. And you also got the bank vault. I didn't talk about this in Bush and Transit, but you got the bank vault on this map as well as die rise. So if you save up a bunch of points, you can deposit them into the bank and you can access them on those two other maps. I wonder why they should bring back the bank vault system, the bank system in future Zombies map, because that'd be pretty cool though. Because I got in a game of zombies nowadays with like a buttload of points just feels wasteful. Buried is also gonna join Mob the Dead and easy. And Buried's going to the top of easy because again, you got the paralyzers, the time bomb, ray gun Mark II, launcher 8, which makes finding stuff easy. And then you got Leroy. Yeah, pretty easy map if you ask me. Really fun map to play, I'm gonna be honest. Alright. Origins. Origins goes into hard. Reason being, setting up on this map takes a while. Because if you want to go for a long time, it's a lengthy setup process. First, turn on the generators and make sure they stay on. Get the guns that you need, get your perks, and then build the staffs, and then upgrade the staffs that you want to upgrade. This is a pretty lengthy process. Plus, the mud is there to slow you down, even with stamina. And then you got the Panzers. Not to mention getting stepped on by one of the robots. But I keep coming back to this map because I enjoy this one. I put it at the bottom of the heart. It's at the bottom of heart because because like the staffs make it not like the staffs make it so I can't put it here, but I can put it in hard because getting set up on Origins is lengthy because you could die during the setup process. So that's why I put it in hard. Getting set up on this map is pretty difficult. Okay, so for the one map of Advanced Warfare that I played, we have Outbreak with AW. I'm gonna put it into medium difficulty for right now. I'm still learning the map. I've gotten to use the wonder weapon on the map, the Cell 3 Colonizer, and it's a pretty fun. It's a pretty good weapon. I just don't know more about that map. I cannot, for the life of me, get into the flow state on this map like I can in all these other maps. I can get on all these other maps that we talked about. I can get into a flow state pretty quickly. Right? I got my guns, I got my perks, I know what I'm doing, I know where I'm going. I can get that. Outbreak can't really do that. I'll be real with you. Alright. BO3 time. Spill the water. Shadows of Evil is at the top of easy. This map is easy because the Apothecary Servant. And just the overall movement of BO3 just makes this map a joy to play. This is an easy map. A pretty good map for beginners, if you ask me. I still think that maps like Deriz, Kino, Knot, and Newtown are maps where beginners can get their footing. But BO3 is just easy just because of the Shadows of Evil is just easy because the BO3 movement is just that. It's BO3 movement, it's just so silky smooth. Plus you got the shield, again, buildables do not play a factor in it, but I'd mention it. You got the Apothecary Servant, and then you got Goblins. Gobblegums make your game even easier, so that's why I put it here. And on that note, the same thing goes for the Giant. The Giant also goes into easy. I'm gonna put it right next to its other two counterparts. The Giant is basically BO3's Reese, but it plays the exact same. I don't know. I can't tell you which version of the Reese I like more because it's the same map. And the same way I play Reese on World at War and BO1, I play it on BO3. I get my perks, I get set up, I go to the catwalk, and I just sit. Although I will put it down here because tripwires kind of suck in this game. To be honest, tripwires kind of suck in this game. I'll take the Bouncing Betty from here and the Claymores from here any day, and the Bouncing Betties from here any day of the week. But it still is an easy map though. You really don't even need tripwires, to be honest with you. If you got dead wire, you really don't need it. That's not that. Hold on. No, I'll put it easy. Okay, Dead Ups Arcade 2. Did not play too much of this, so I'll put it here in the heart right next to the other brother. Didn't really beat it. I didn't get very far, but you know, didn't get very far. Played a good bit of it. Okay. Now we have the Zombies Chronicles versions of 3 World at War maps, 4 BO1 maps, and a singular BO2 map. So, BO3 map goes into easy. No. Medium. No, it goes into easy. Easy. Reason being, you have Gobblegums and you have Wonderfish. You have Gobblegums, you have Wonderfish. If you have Wall Power or Crate Power Gobblegum, you are set up. Or if you have Purpaholic for that. Or Shopping Thrill. Shopping Thrill really doesn't help you as much, real. Varrock stays, and Varrock now drops from hard to medium because of Wonderfizz. Yeah, really nothing much more to say. BO3 Shinonuma stays with its 2 older brothers in medium. Nothing really changes, to be honest. I think Kino might be made even easier just because of Wonderfish and double pack a punch or not. Then Ascension, again, I think it's even easier since at the bottom of easy just because Wonderfish is there. Gobblegums, pretty much all these maps are made easier with Gobblegums and double pack a punch. BO3 Shang, I put into hard. Even with Gobblegums, I do not know the layout of that map very well. So that's why it's hard for me. I have to learn the layout. Then BO3 Moon. BO3 Moon still sits in the same spot as original Moon in my opinion. Still pretty difficult. It's like medium difficulty. Nothing really changes in my opinion, even with Wonderfish. Nothing really changes. BO3 Origins. Oh man. It goes above its older brother hard just because the Panzers on BO3 Origins are way tankier. If you don't have ray gun and or a staff to take out the Panzer, you are going to be wasting so many bullets in those BO3 Panzers. They eat bullets like a gourmet dinner. I'm trying to tell you, like golly. That's why. Like, other than that, BO3 Origins is no different from BO2 Origins except for the Panzers. That's really it. Setup process is basically the same. Everything I said about BO2 Origins applies here as well. Alright, Zombies in Spaceland. This is the only IW map I've played so far. And maybe the only one I play. I ain't gonna lie. Okay. So. Put it in the medium. Put it in medium because this map is not really difficult. It's not difficult, but it's not easy either. It's kind of like a middle of the road. The challenge, in my opinion, is just right. And the weapon, like Pack-a-Punch is cool. The wonder weapons I still have not used. No, I got one. I think I got the red pistol. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. What I gotta say about Zombie Space, but I can't really say much else about it. Pretty much, I can't really say much else about it. I still have a long ways to go with this now. Okay, Final Reich. Final Reich from World War II also goes into medium. The hardest part about Final Reich is just trying to do the hardcore Easter egg. That's pretty much it. Other than that, the map layout is pretty reasonable. It's not that you cannot get lost in this map. The weapons are fun to use. Like, the SVT is the most busted gun in this game. Like, you Pack-a-Punch the SVT, you are going to melt anything. All bosses. Like, the Pack-a-Punch SVT 40 with extended mags, it's literally GG. Like, you will blitz through, and you will blitz through. The Tesla gun and all its upgradable variants are cool. Don't get it twisted. My favorite being the Midnight. My favorite being, I think with the Hurricane. No, not the Hurricane, but the Green. I think it is the Midnight. SVT-40, to be honest. Alright, Darkest Shore. Goes in the hard. Same thing, that's it. Same thing with this. The Fog. The Fog makes it, I think the Fog is even worse on Darkest Shore because you cannot see anything unless you won't see anything until you either run into something or something runs into you. And the boss zombie of this map, I call it Spider-Man. Like, it only spawns during the fog, so basically it sneak attacks you. And let me tell you, it gets annoying after a while. I haven't played Darkest Shore in a minute, but funny enough, I still know the layout on that map. Frosted House. Put it right here, right next to Not There Until the End. It's another small map. It's another small map. You have a downstairs and an upstairs. Now you do have a Wonder Fist type machine upstairs that will give you a random perk every time you use it, and there is the mystery box that you can unlock by shooting a bunch of lanterns in the map. And if you get a Jack in the Box outside of said mystery box and throw it in a specific corner in the upstairs area. Well, no, first donate 10,000 points into the piano and then throw a Jack in the Box in a specific area. For the rest of that game, all weapons out of that box will be Pack-a-Punch. But I'm just being honest, it's hard because I don't think anyone that's any first timers are gonna know that. So I put it in difficult because it's a pretty small map. It's smaller than Vera and Not There Until put together. This is the smallest map in Zombies so far. Okay, now we're on to BO4. Golly, this video is almost gonna be an hour. This is easily gonna be the longest video I've ever done. I do apologize for this long-winded yap. I do apologize, but I have a lot to say. Voyage of Despair. Bottom of Heart. The Stokers annoy me to death. And the layout of the map, I've been playing Voyage since 2018. I still don't know my way around. I still don't have a firm grasp on this map. I still don't know where it is I am on the map and where it is I haven't been. I still don't know. I barely remember where Ra is, where, Danu's easy to find. Zeus, he's tucked away in a corner somewhere. And Odin, he's at the bottom of the ship. But it's always Ra. Those three, I remember where they are. But Ra, I can never seem to remember where he is. And also, the shield spawns, I don't remember where they are. But again, we're not factoring in biddable, so we're not gonna talk about it. 9, medium. 9 goes into medium because the map layout is a lot more memorable. I'll say that much. It's like you can't really get lost in this map. Not really. Excuse me. Oh my gosh. The one weapon on this map is not that great. The circuit, like the circus kiss, not that great. I mean, it gives you a buttload of points. Don't get it twisted. It gives you a buttload of points, and it is required for the Easter egg. But it's not that great. I thought it was. I thought it was great for years. And it's not that great. Okay, moving on. Blood of the Dead. This one's gonna hurt me. Blood of the Dead, I put it in the heart. I put it in the heart just because. I'm just joking. This map's really not that hard. It's a medium difficulty map. Like the layout, once you get out of New Industries, it's basically just Mob of the Dead. Just with the fact that the rooftops been cut in half. It's really not that difficult. The map's really not that hard. Not really. Like you can still get the blender gas for free. You can upgrade to this. You can still upgrade to the acid gap. And then you can upgrade. Then you can also upgrade the acid gap. You can also upgrade to the magma gap. I got turned around. But realistically, you don't really want the acid gap. You want the magma gap. You can still get the Hell's Retriever and the Hell's Redeemer. Still get the Golden Sport. You still do that. Can't go to the bridge, but you really need to go to the bridge. Not really that important to you. Yeah, I put Mob in medium. Along with the episode, I put it in medium. Classified, I put it. I'll put it right next to it. I'll put it right next to 5. It's in hard. Like even with the BO4 systems with specialists and all that, this map is still pretty small. And you can still get caught on pretty much anything if you're not careful. So please be careful. Also, Pinning on Thief is not on this map. We have dogs. So with that information as you will. This map is hard just because of its size. It's still pretty small. Not smaller than Grasa House, mind you, but it's still small. Dead of the Night. Okay. Dead of the Night. Okay, let's talk about it. Dead of the Night. Okay. Dead of the Night. I'm putting it at the bottom of heart just because I'm still learning the layout. I have a good grasp on how the map works. I know how to unlock Pack-a-Punch now. That was, in my opinion, the hardest part about Dead of the Night is unlocking Pack-a-Punch because you need 3 tuning forks. And if you don't know what you're looking for, you're not going to find those tuning forks. And as someone that didn't know before, yeah. Like, I know how to get the Pack-a-Punch on this map. I'm still just processing the map layout and burning it into my brain so that I know whenever I do go back to Dead of the Night, okay, I can go here, I can go here, I can go here. But in my opinion, the hardest part about Dead of the Night is just Pack-a-Punching in my opinion. Ancient Evil, I'd say the same thing. I'll put it in medium. The same thing I'd say about Ancient Evil is just getting the Pack-a-Punch. Because you have to find you have to ride the gold, you have to ride Pegasus essentially, you have to find the steed, you have to find the bridle, and then once you find the bridle, you gotta get an extra part from the zombie of the map. And once you do that, ride Pegasus over to the snake cavern as I call it. And then you gotta use your specialist to free Zeus's 2 eagles. Once you do that, they'll break open the crystal in the center of the map. That'll open up Pack-a-Punch, and then you can take the teleporter back to the main. That's probably that is like the hardest part about this map. But overall, the map itself is not really that difficult. The layout's not that difficult. Not really. You won't really get lost. Not really. It's really hard to get lost in this map. It's a medium difficult map. Medium difficulty map just because it's in the BO3 system with specialists and whatnot. Plus, if you bring the chakrams or the hand or Odin or the Valhalla hammer, it'll be good. Okay. Alpha Omega goes into hard. Alpha Omega goes into hard just because the Nova Crawlers, man. The Nova Crawlers, and then Pack-a-Punch turning off. Yes, it's the same as it is in Origins, but I can do it better in Origins. But Alpha, it is annoying. Every so often, a house will start spewing toxic fumes. You have to go in the house, you have to go in the house and unclog the vent so that the power in that house can turn back on. And then there's, I think it's like 3 or 4 of them that happen every time that happens. So yeah, go into those houses, find them, and clear them out. That's really the hardest. The hardest part about this map is really playing the map. I kid. The hardest part about this map is that keeping Pack-a-Punch on for you. Tog your tokens. Golly, we are almost. This video is almost an hour. Golly. We're wrapping it up. Tog your token. Hardest thing about this map is getting the Pack-a-Punch. Because you have to get the zip line working, and then you have to get the zip line working, and then get the thing from Pablo to you ride the zip line up to the other half of the map where you can turn power on and Pack-a-Punches up there and whatnot. That's the hardest part. Other than that, though, Call of the Dead. And then Tog the Totem sits in medium right next to Call of the Dead. These two are basically the same maps, just that one doesn't have fog and the one has fog. This map has an extra area with a laboratory. This map does not. Same map, same level of difficulty in my opinion, just with the added fact that Pack-a-Punch is moved. Pack-a-Punch no, that's not true. No, that's not right. Pack-a-Punch is not up there. Pack-a-Punch moves like it doesn't Call of the Dead. I'm stupid. Yeah, these maps are practically the same. Just one without fog and one does have fog. Whew, okay. That is the end of BO4. Now, it's time for Cold War. Alright, starting off Cold War, we have D Machina. I'm gonna put this here because I have not really played this all that much. D Machina, I'll put in the easy. Getting set up on this map is pretty easy. Perks are in a pretty good spot. The wonder weapon isn't all that great. I say the toxic die is like my favorite one to use. But using the normal die on Pack-a-Punch, using the normal die on upgrade is pretty fun too. You got the Megaton, the Zombie. The layout is basically not that potent, but the extra bunker. It's not that difficult. Yeah, I mean, it's if I play it easy, it's really not that hard. So I'm gonna move the Giant down in the very easy. The Reese is going down to very easy. Kino, you're going down to very easy, just real quick because we have too much. Yeah, you need to fill that map out. And then okay, Firebase Z. Firebase Z. I'm gonna put this map into difficult. No. I'll put it in just hard. Alpha Omega will go up here. Dead of the Night will go into difficult just because of Pack-a-Punch. Darkest Shore going into difficult just because of the fog. And I think that's it right now. Yeah, that's it right now. Okay. Firebase Z goes into hard. Just because the defense. Oh yeah, the base defense that happens every few rounds. if you want to farm in this map, you're gonna have to do it. And at some point, an order's gonna spawn. He's got a ton of health. So if you're not prepared, if you don't have like level 3 armor, tier 3 gold weapons, and level 3 pack of punch, if they're gonna, that zombies are gonna take you out. So calmly keep that. Alright, Cold War, sorry, Outbreak. Outbreak goes into very easy just because there's really not much to do in Outbreak. You spawn on like a series of random maps, and you carry out various objectives. You're not gonna do easy. The easiest zombies experience in Cold War, in my opinion. Like the easiest in my opinion. Okay. Malware. Actually, no. We're not factoring these. We're not factoring these. Alright, Malware gets put into. It's not an easy map. I'll put it in very hard. Malware is a very hard map. Malware is a hard map. I'm kidding. It's not. I'll put it in hard. Malware just sits in hard just because the panzers on this map are insane. If you don't have their weakness, they take forever to kill. Unless you have the Cerberus, that means. No, unless you have the Cerberus. But it's a hard map. Nothing much else to say. Forsaken, also a hard map. Just because this map is very small. It's not Groston house level small, but small. The hardest part about Forsaken is the Abomination. It takes forever to kill, even with this weakness. It takes forever, my man. It just takes too much. Okay, we have nothing in extreme. Well, maybe that'll change. Who knows? Alright, Duran Fog. Okay, here we go. This is the hardest map to play because literally this map tests your patience. Because like this map gets boring after a while. That's why it is the hardest. This is the hardest map to play in zombies because it tests your patience. How long are you willing to spend on this map? This map is the definition of tedious. In my opinion, this map is the definition of tedious. If you don't believe me, if you don't believe me, go play this map and tell me if your patience isn't tested. Okay, Vanguard Shinonuma. It goes right here. Even with the Wonder Waffle quest. Even with a whole new area where you can train and whatnot. Medium difficulty. Shinonuma does not go anywhere else. It's still a pretty middle of the road map. Operation Deadbolt, Modern Warfare 3. Realistically, this could go anywhere, to be real with you. This could go really anywhere. But I'll put it in medium because it's basically a Warzone map just with a level 1 area, a level 2 area, and a level 3 area being the hardest. And where the level 3 area, of course, zombies hit the hardest and have more health. Even with the level 3 Pack-a-Punch and gold weapon, those zombies, they take a lot of bullets. So be careful. Be very careful. Alright. I do not have much to say about Terminus. Not really. I put it in the middle. I put it in medium just because I don't remember the layout. I don't remember the layout on Terminus. I really don't. It's not a terribly difficult map. Even with the amalgams and whatnot. and the Manglers. It's not that difficult, but it's just I don't remember much about this map. And I played this map like what, twice? So maybe that's why I don't remember. Liberty Falls, easy. Very easy. This is one of the easiest maps to play on. The reason why I say this is because BO6 introduced directing. Need I say more? You can play all these maps on directed and really get a feel for these maps. But Liberty Falls is the easiest. The map is very easy. It's very easy. It's a very easy loadout. It's very easy layout to understand. Weapons are pretty decent, and it's just an overall pretty good map. Pretty decent map. Not the craziest map out there, but it's still a very fine map. Citadel goes into easy. The layout, not that difficult to understand. Wonder weapons might be underwhelming, but fun to use. And overall, just the whole vibe of the map is pretty cool too. But we're not talking about vibes, we're talking about different. Citadel is easy, not really that difficult. Even with the Poltergeist, I think it's called. Even with the boss zombie, the Poltergeist, it's not really that difficult. Not really. The Tomb goes into hard just because it's a pretty small map. We got amalgams on this map. We got Poltergeist on this map. The Ice Staff is back from Origins. And if we were talking about Easter egg, this is one of the harder boss fights we've had in a while. This map has one of the harder boss fights we've had in a while. Well, this map did have the hardest boss fight at the time, but we're gonna get to it. The Tomb sits in a hard just because of its layout. Shattered Veil. I'm gonna be honest. Shattered Veil suffers the same fate from Terminus. The map layout wasn't very memorable. Not really. I guess the Disciple would make this map difficult, but if you played Cold War and Modern Warfare 3 Zombies, you really shouldn't have a problem with the Disciple, to be honest. Sits in medium, just because it's not really that memorable. It's not really that difficult. Not really. Layout, just not that memorable. Reckoning goes into difficult just because you have to keep track of which tower you're in. Yeah, Reckoning, you have to keep track of which tower you're in. Like, you may think you're in one tower, but you may think you're in the right tower to progress. You may think you're in one tower, but you're actually in the other. And it's really hard. It's really hard to keep track of where you are. Plus, Uber Klaus is annoying on this map. Like, Uber Klaus is really annoying on this map. I hope you brought Cryo Freeze because that's his weakness. Plus, this map has 2 different boss fights. We're not talking about, again, if this were Easter egg oriented, we would talk about that, but we're not going to talk about it. This map is pretty difficult, okay, just because of Uber Klaus alone. But it's still not as difficult as getting the Pack-a-Punch stuff in on Deadly. Okay, Ashes of the Dam. I've only played this map once or twice. My opinion of it is still pretty fresh. Ashes, I'm gonna put into medium for now, just until I really sit down and play this map. But from what I have played, it's not that challenging. It's not that challenging. Okay, and finally, the final map on this list. We have been recording for almost an hour. We have Van Doren Farm. This map goes into. I'll put it in easy, right below town. It's a survival map. It's basically farm, but easier because you're in the BO7 system pretty much. Again, both this farm and this farm identical, except for the fact that in this farm the house is on your right where you spawn in, and the shack is in the back of the map. In this farm, the house is in front of you when you spawn in, with the shack to your right and the barn to your left. But the farm is a little bit bigger. There's a lot more room for you to maneuver in now, on Van Dorn. So that's pretty much it. Woo! Oh my gosh. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have reached an hour of yap. This is the longest video I've ever done. So real quick, scrolling up, this is my list for the easiest and the hardest zombie maps in all of Call of Duty Zombies. If you made it through this hour-long yap, I want to thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoy it, and I apologize that I did not split this video into multiple parts. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoy it. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.